Hello, this is Board Game Authority, and today we're going to take a look at this campaign, Forging Legends, your guide to creating deep characters. We're going to look at this from a project creator standpoint and hopefully answer some questions that I see kind of being asked over and over again in some of the tabletop community Facebook groups and Discord groups and things that I'm in, okay? So I see things like how many pre-launch followers do I need? What's the funding goal should I have? What's the XYZ? Okay, so I'm going to go over a few of those in this video, and you can extrapolate that information and apply it to your goals because everybody's goal is going to be different, right? So I will talk about my goals a little bit here. I started this campaign with not a high funding goal because I wanted it to guarantee that it would succeed. I also started this campaign with no real investment of mine up front. And so what that means is I wasn't spending money on a lot of advertising. I didn't spend money to like build up an email list pre-launch. I didn't spend money to create a video. It has a video, but I didn't spend money to like create that and pump that out to all the social media sites and stuff like that, right? What I did, I will get into what I did do and what has worked for this. And work is, this campaign is going on right now. It's $442, so it's not exploding, right? But for the amount of time and effort I put into this, that's to be expected, okay? Let's get into some of what did happen, okay? Not that one. Not yet. Where's this one? Okay. So I had 43 pre-launch followers. That's the number of people that saw that pre-launch page and clicked, remind me on launch or notify me on launch, okay? Of those 43, 6 of them converted. That's about a 14% conversion rate, okay? So what I have heard is that these percentages kind of roughly are the same no matter your campaign. So it's going to be plus or minus, right? You may have 10%, 12%, you may have 20%, but it's going to be in that range, right? You're not probably going to drop too much lower than a 10%. You're not probably going to go too much higher than like a 20%. So somewhere in that range, I hit right in that middle of 14%. Okay, and this what this screenshot is showing is like day one. Okay, so day one I had 43, and then 6 of them converted, and then after I hit that launch button, I picked up 8 more followers. And that's from just Kickstarter, okay? That's Kickstarter just being, showing on Kickstarter's website. One of them already backed. Most of these followers, click that remind me button, reminded me within like 48 hours, and that's when the majority of them, hopefully, that's when they back. I mean, we would love for them to back sooner so we can be more sure of our numbers, but that's when they're going to back. That's why they did that. Okay, so this is day one. Now I'm going to show you what day 2 looked like. Okay, and so here's the difference. We have 43. This isn't going to change, right? It can go down, but it's never going to go up, right? You can't add more pre-launch after you've launched. Okay, so that's going to stay the same. And we converted 1 more, right? We went from 6 to 7, so that's good. And here's the big thing, though. I went from 8 to 20. That's a pretty big leap, and so my percentages are now changing, right? So I added 1 more here, so I got 16%, and instead of converting more, I added more followers, so that went down from 13% to 5%, but my overall is 13%. Okay, all right. So I'm going to pull up day 3, and day 3, you can see it went from 8 to 20 to 36, right? So that's a pretty good trajectory there, right? From just being on Kickstarter. I'm basically not doing any marketing for this. And this whole 42, 43, 43, I lost one, right? Somebody said, I'm no longer interested. I don't want to follow it. And they went away, all right? So, but that still leaves 7. I still got 1. So that's 8 converted followers. And so here's my percentages. So we have 10 overall. So that went down from 13. Let's put this over here. So day 2 it was 13, so it went down to 10. This went up because we lost one here, and this is still this is going down, right? Because I keep getting more followers, right? So the hope is that in that final 48-hour mark, most of these people, because they said, hey, I'm interested, hopefully, but I know it's not going to be most. I know it's going to be around this like 10 to 17%. So this number keeps going up. We can consider that, let's just lowball it and say 10%. So that's another, 3.6 people. So maybe 3, maybe 4 people are going to convert if it stays at this level. But each day it's going up, up, up. Okay. So here's how my funding progress looks. And so I got my average pledge, $22.10. Day 1, boom, that's the most, right? Like right at $300 on day 1. That's, for me, it wasn't bad, right? For your campaign, your goal for day 1 may be $3,000 instead of $300, right? So, take this information and apply it to your campaign and your needs, right? And so day 1, $300. Day 2, about 50, and then day 3 was a much bigger day for some reason, at almost $100. And then today is the beginning of day 4. It's like 10:40 a.m. When I took this screenshot, it was like an hour ago. So pretty early in the day, already a little bit of money. Most of this is all coming from Kickstarter. It's not coming from me and my efforts, right? So when people say Kickstarter is not a marketing platform, it's not going to market for you, like, sure, you need to build your following, you need to build your fan base that's going to come in and do this day 1 stuff for you, right? Do this like pledge a lot on day 1, because that's where you get the most, right? That's $300 on day 1. None of these did $300 again, right? So that is your biggest following. And then Kickstarter, because it is Kickstarter and people do browse Kickstarter, you are going to get some. It's not your full marketing platform, but I did want to see how much Kickstarter puts in, because everybody keeps saying it's not a marketing platform. You need to market, you need to pre-market, before you get here. You need to line up all of your ads and your videos and your image ads, all of that stuff that you're going to put on Facebook, that you're going to build a email list. Maybe you're using the backer kit email. Maybe, who knows what you're doing, but you should be doing a lot. That's the consensus, right? You have to build your following. You have to market to that following. You got to build your email list. And then you gotta run ads. You gotta cross promote. You gotta be on podcasts and blogs and get reviews and all that kind of stuff, right? Your mileage may vary. There's some conventional wisdom in that, but this just looks at here's what it is. Here's one that I want to talk about: Kickstarter cross promo. And so what I have done and what I got the most of my 42, 43, whatever the number was, my pre-launch followers, most of those were obtained through this Kickstarter cross promo. And even though it says only one of them pledged, I have to assume most of them came right from this. This says Kickstarter cross promo. That's let me explain what it is. Let me back up, okay. So I'm going to look at this campaign and just see how it looks, if it's appealing, if it's something I could personally recommend. If it, just how does it look, right? How do I feel about it? This is how I got those 43 people to sign up to click the notify button. Is I went to the creator tab here, and it's got their name, it's got who they are, it's got a bunch of stuff about them, what all they've done in the past. But right here it says message. And so what I did was just message them and say, hey, I have a Kickstarter campaign that just started. I would love to work out some kind of cross promotion deal. So that usually involves us very literally cross promoting each other. So they, in their update or a newsletter they put out, would say, hey, I would like you to check out the Forging Legends campaign. And I'm going to do the same thing for them. In my update, I would say, hey, have you checked out this recent campaign from Realm Crafters? Okay, so what it's going to look like is, this is just another campaign that I found, but the updates, so they put their normal update, and then at the end of that update, they're going to say, hey, here's some campaigns you should check out, right? And so this one is doing two. They're doing these absurd abominations, and this is a link take you right to their Kickstarter page, okay? And then they're doing this Brass Reach Floating City of Gears, right? So they're doing two cross promotions, and so this Brass Reach and this Absurd Abominations, in their updates, they are cross promoting this Tome of Wild Magic, okay? And so finding these individuals who have active Kickstarter campaigns the same time you do, just reach out to them. Click this creator button, then click message and send them a message. This is kind of what we're looking at. Again, your campaign is going to vary, but you can probably guarantee that these two are going to be your biggest, right? You're going to get a lot from that pre-launch email, and you're right, if you're lucky, get a lot from the discovery page, right? Just being on Kickstarter. I hope that answers your questions. I didn't probably do a good job of pinpointing like how many pre-launch followers you need, because that's just going to vary based on your goal. But the answer, right, is the higher your funding goal, or even not your goal, right, but the higher your actual desired amount. If you want $5,000, let's say, versus $500, or if you want $50,000 versus that $5,000, the more you're going to need at pre-launch, right? You're going to want, once you start breaking it into 4 figures and then breaking into 5 figures, and especially upper 5 figures, you're going to want to have hundreds of pre-launch followers, right? Hundreds, 400, 500. So, that's going to be necessary, because you can just break down the math and say, well, 10%, and if you're lucky, 15% of those pre-launch followers are going to pledge. And so if you have 500, 10%, that's 50 people pledging. You're going to take your average pledge amount, right, and just multiply that out, right? This is just math. It's all a math game. And so you just kind of work backwards from your target number, right? So if your target number is 5,000, what do you need to get there? That means, your campaign is going to be different. Your average pledge may be $40 instead of $22, right? So you're going to have to take that all into consideration, right? So anyway, that's a long way of trying to answer that question, but hopefully you can figure out, get some answers from some of that other stuff about what percentages and where and all that stuff. So anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this. So if you want to check out the campaign, just view the page for yourself. It's called Forging Legends. It's on Kickstarter right now. You can go check it out and just kind of see how I built the campaign page and all that kind of good stuff. All right, until next time, game on.